Hello everyone and welcome to a glorious evening here at Donington Park, home to round 4 of the Intelligent Money British GT Championship this weekend. And as you can see, it is a perfect evening to take a walk up the pit lane and have a look at the cars and stars here this weekend. And we start with the brightest star of all at this stage of the championship. It is the championship leaders, Barwell Motorsport. Rob Card and Sandy Mitchell have a 16.5 point lead heading into this weekend. And they're joined just behind, if you carry on walking up with me, the second of the Barwell Lamborghinis, that is Adam Ballon and Phil Keane. They were the championship leaders heading to Brands Hatch. They've slipped to 4th after a very rare non-score, but they were very consistent here back when we were racing at Donington in mid-August. So look out for those guys, see how they go. Also worth noting that the number 78 car, that has the full 20-second success penalty because it won at Brands Hatch. Next up, we're along to TF Sport and what can only really be described as the naughty step after their final lap shenanigans at Brands Hatch. 97 and 95 obviously coming together, ended up with 95 in the gravel trap and 97 being docked 40 seconds post-race. But neither of these entries serve a success penalty this weekend. They have generally been the two fastest cars in GT4 this year. The Caroline and Vaughan car just half a point off the championship lead despite those drop in points last time out. Kibble and O'Brien, they won at Donington in mid-August. On we go, past RJN. Ordinarily we'd see the world's fastest gamer McLaren in there, but I think it must be off down at scrutineering or something. They're third in the championship. They also have a success penalty this weekend, 15 seconds. They finished second at Brands Hatch. Along to Stella, and you'll recognise the GT4 version of their Audi that actually won here at Donington Park this time last year. It's not racing this weekend, just on display in the garage next to its big brother, the Audi R8 Lms Gt3. This one joined us for the first time at Brands Hatch. Very good start to its life in British GT, finished 6th. Next along, ABBA Racing. Sam and Richard Neary really doing the job this year. Sam just stood there pretending he hasn't heard us. But still only 18 and doing a fantastic job, especially here at Donington in the wet last time out. I suspect it's going to be quite a lot drier this weekend. On we go. And we would ordinarily stop here at HHC because Chris Westmail and Gus Bowers, they lead the championship. But as you can see, both shutters are down, so we can't really say any more than that. And on to two more McLarens, but these are the GT3 versions. These are the 2Cs versions. We'll just actually have a quick spin round the front of these while they're out doing pit stop practice. New team to British GT this year and really still waiting for them to fulfil the potential of lots of pace, not a great deal of luck so far, but neither car carries a pit stop success penalty this weekend, so look out for both of these guys. As I say, I think they're due a big result sooner rather than later. On to Speedworks, another entry that's due a big result, to be perfectly honest with you. The new Toyota has been fantastically quick in parts this year, but we're still waiting really to have that breakthrough result. Just the one podium so far in 2020 for the new Supra. No success penalty on Sunday. It could be the Toyota's weekend. Now we're going to have a quick look at the Aston Martin we've got in here. This is the Ultimate Speed Vantage, new to British GT, and actually only 2 weeks old, this chassis. It raced in GT Cup here last weekend, but just come and have a look at the car. This is what one weekend's worth of racing does to the front of a racing car. I mean, it is, you don't really ever see that level of detail and just what the sort of argy-bargy motor racing can do to cars like that. You see them pristine, but the guys are just preparing that after their weekend here last weekend. So we'll see a bit more of Ultimate Speed as the weekend progresses. On to Century now, and another returning entry for us. We haven't seen the new Ultimate Speed yet this year. We've seen the team over the last couple of years, but not the car. Tagiwa, on the other hand, they're run by Century. We saw them at Alton Park. They're making the second of their 2 race-by-race entries this year, and a rather snazzy livery on the BMW, I think you'll agree. And the second of Century's cars just in the garage over there, so we'll carry on. Fortunately, the shutters are down on Optimum, So we'll carry on up, bit of a walk before we get to the next one. So an opportunity to remind you that Sunday's race is our first 3-hour race of the season, and it means there's some changes to the regulations. 3 pit stops, 3 mandatory driver changes, and no driver can complete more than 100 minutes of drive time, and any success penalties must be served at the final mandatory pit stop. So very different to what we're used to, and no pit stop windows either. On to Balf, and 3 cars for Balf this weekend. We're used to seeing this one. It's the Ewan Hankey and Mia Flewitt example. Keith Cheetham there being Keith Cheetham, and we'll move on to Balf's new GT4 entry this weekend. Features GT4 2012 champion Warren Hughes. Those guys raced for the first time. Warren and Jan Klingelenberg raced for the first time in GT Cup in August, and they're making the first of their British GT appearances. And we then move on to, as the plane comes into land at East Midlands Airport, we move on to Balf's 720S GT3 entry, Joe Osborne and Stuart Proctor in this one. You might remember that these guys raced with us for the first time together here at Donington back in mid-August. Joe put it on pole position. He's not commentating with us this weekend as a result of his race entry, so we've got GT4 champion from 2016 Graham Johnson joining Andy McEwen. Next up, it is the Academy Ford Mustang. Finally got to see what the Ford was capable of at Brands Hatch, where Jordan Albert and Matt Cowley put in a brilliant performance to come through from 8th on the grid after problems in qualifying to actually win the race. They'll carry the full 20-second success penalty as a result this weekend, but as I say, a great result for Academy and another one that's been a long time coming. All that noise you heard behind me was Ram Racing practicing their pit stops. This is the overall championship chasing Silver Cup entry of Sam Dehaan and Patrick Kujala. They're second in the championship at the moment, 16.5 points behind Sandy Mitchell and Rob Collard. But crucially, no pit stop success penalty for them on Sunday, whereas Sandy and Rob have the full 20 seconds. The second of Ram's entries is actually stuck in the garage there. It's Ian Loggy and Yelmer Berman. So we'll, just while we spin around and have a quick look at that, we'll just remind you that, of course, you can watch British GT's 3-hour race live from Donington Park on Sunday. The race begins at 12:45, live coverage begins at 12:25, and it's live on GT World's YouTube channel, Twitch channel, and across British GT's social media. We'll see you then.